Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and Lisa's out and about doing her thing, which is always a good thing. Today we have with us Quarry and Scarah from Horrorweb Productions. They did a film called The Black Quarry. How you guys doing today?
Great.
Doing good.
Mhm.
That's good.
Thanks for
So first, let's get into how you guys got into the industry and how you guys met and stuff like that.
I met Sarah through my business partner in theme parks. So I was at one of my theme parks and I was introduced to her through my business partner and told that she would actually be a great makeup artist for another theme park in our hometown. And it turned out that that was just the sort of the start of a lot that we would do in the future, none of which would really be makeup. So,
Uh, uh, Theme parks. So you said, so you own some theme parks.
yeah, I have two Halloween theme parks or like a multi-attraction Halloween sort of haunted houses in Texas, one in Lubbock, Texas, called Nightmare on 19th Street. And it's been around for, this will be our 18th year. And then this is our fifth year going into a rather new theme park in Austin, Texas called Bat City Scaregrounds, where Scarah is our host at Bat City Scaregrounds. So as you walk in the front gate, she's on a giant throne on a mountain doing witchy things. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Scara, how did you get into the makeup effects and stuff like that? When did you know you wanted to do that?
Uh, I've always done various creative things, and playing around with makeup was one of them. I was approached by Corey, like he said, through his business partner. Now, his business partner used to be my boss back when I worked in radio, and that's how that kind of connection came through. And I was sad. I used to live in Lubbock, where Corey's first park is, and I was sad that I had moved away from Lubbock when that park opened, and I'd wanted to be part of it. And I think that my old boss was trying to be nice and say like, "Oh, she could do makeup for you." But I'm okay at doing makeup and things like that. There's definitely better people than I. And but when I met Corey, we just started doing creative things, pretty instantaneously. And I've always loved Halloween. I've always loved horror and met a kindred spirit in Corey, and we've just been going ever since.
All right. Uh, so I know that Corey, you're also into music too. Before we get into the film, you're also into music too. So your love for music, was that at a young age, or did you like go through different genres of music that you liked?
yeah, so I picked up the guitar at a really young age in middle school. We had a guitar that was floating around the neighborhood and it was always at somebody's house. And one day I'm like, hey, are you playing that? And to a friend while we were playing video games, and they're like, no. And I was like, can I take it home and play it? And they're like, sure, dude, I'm not playing it. And it didn't even, you couldn't even plug it in. It was an electric guitar that had the output didn't work on it. And so I went home and I noodled around and that was, I don't know, 35 years ago. And so I went on to be in a series of original rock projects, writing music, and I play guitar and sing, and but mostly I write. I like to write. I enjoy writing music, rock and roll music, and then later in the last 10 or 15 years, I became an audio production guy and engineer, and so which was really handy for film. So I sort of came at film through my audio skills, and then I met Sarah, and we said in 2020 during COVID, hey, let's form a spooky punk band and write original, fun, original spooky tunes, and so now we have a band. Well, we've had it for the last 4 or 5 years called the Immortals with a Z, and it's hugely popular in Austin, Texas. We're a theatrical band because we're film people, and we're vampires, and of course, Scarah is Scarah, and so we put on a pretty intense performance, so it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Uh, so going a little bit into the movie without giving spoilers to anybody out there who hasn't seen it yet. Uh, how did you come up with the story for the film, The Black Quarry?
For the Black Quarry, the Black Quarry was always a film that I wanted to write. I've been on tour, regional tours with rock bands most of my life, and so I love horror comedies, and it's a horror comedy, and so they say write what you know, and what I know is being in a van or a truck with a bunch of jackass musicians. And that's sort of what I know, and I know that it's you're doing anything anything you can to entertain yourself during those trips because Texas is big, and so there's a lot of road, and so it's whatever we can do, and it just was a lot of fun. And I thought early on, especially as a film writer, it is better that you write to what you know. I think that as you become a more mature writer, you understand and you can branch out and write things after that you have to research. But at first, especially when you're still sort of working on how to compose a narrative with a good pace to it, it is best just to write something that you know. And that's the world that I lived in for 20, 30 years, is not necessarily black metal, but hard rock, So
Yeah. Scarah, for your character, Scarah, did you draw any inspiration from like personal stuff, or was it just something you came like right off of just all creation of your mind?
Oh, of course, I drew inspiration from Elvira, Morticia, Vampira, specifically Elvira. Even though I love Morticia and Vampira as well, they're all really all derivative of Morticia, but horror hosts in general, and then just mix that kind of with personal experiences, and the characters evolved a little over time. It's not an over the top type of horror host. There's two types of horror hosts. There's your very heavy-handed, kind of very campy, over the top horror host, and then there's more like Joe Bob, who's more. It's like, is it a horror? Is it a character, or is that really Joe Bob? It's hard to tell. And I felt, you know, closer to the Joe Bob side, I would say, in my mannerisms. But in my looks, it's definitely campy. So it's just kind of a blend of a few things.
Oh yeah. Uh, First, I have to say that the intro that you did in the Black Quarry was fantastic. It was awesome.
Thank you. Well, that was Corey's writing, and I think he was inspired by the Crypt Keeper's opening from Tales from the Crypt, excuse me, that we grew up watching, and loving, and he wanted a horror hosted intro to that movie. And so that was super fun to do.
Oh yeah.
yeah, an interesting thing about the Black Quarry was that that film was supposed to be an anthology, and it was supposed to be a 2 episode anthology, a lot like the Creep Show, where Scarah's character was our horror host and introduced both films. And I was going to write the first one, which was the Black Quarry, and then Scarah was going to write the second one, Damsel of the Doomed. And she wrote her script, and we filmed the Black Quarry, and it was done. And then we shot Damsel of the Doom, which was supposed to be the second part of the full feature length anthology. And Damsel, I had the first cut. I got through all the edits, and I got through the first cut, and I'm like, damn, this movie is an hour and 15 minutes. It's a feature by itself. And the pacing was great. So we decided just to leave that film as its own feature and just release by itself instead of a dual sort of creature featurey kind of fun thing that we were the original game plan. So I think it worked out better. The films they're tied together. The next film, Damsel of the Doom, is tied to the Black Quarry. There's an overarching narrative to it. A little bit. It's loosely tied, but it was a lot of fun, and it sort of opened up. The two didn't necessarily have to be so similar that they would fit into the same anthology. So.
Uh, let's speak a little bit more about the rest of the cast. Were they handpicked, or did you do auditions, or how'd that go?
Sarah, you want to talk about that?
Okay, sure. So for the principal cast of the band itself, we had audition actually for all of the cast, we had auditions. However, we did have a few people in mind for at least two of the characters of the band, Morax and Scourge. And but we still auditioned people just to be sure, we were making the right choice. Or no, not Morax. What is Zach's character's name?
Devin.
Devin and Scourge. And then Morax was open cast. We found him in Dallas. And then the same thing with the other actors. We used Actors Access to cast our actors, and people sent in audition tapes. We tried to get local actors as much as we could, but you'll find that when you do casting online in that type of a situation, a lot of actors will say they're local when they mean they can work local, which just means they'll fly to you. So we had one of Shakira, the she came, where's she from? Chicago, Corey? Yeah. She played the
Oh,
director.
yeah.
And so that's how we cast a lot of that. And then all of the extras were, we did an open call sort of a thing amongst friends. And all the people in the bar in the first scene, or a lot of those people are people we know, or people, in our cruise friends and stuff like that. But the principal cast we tried to do is, get the best people for those roles.
All right. Uh, so going from like the bar scene to straight in the van to straight to the video set where they were going to record by the quarry. What did the weather play any kind of part in, like, if you were going to be able to do this or not do this?
We actually were very lucky. Spring in Texas isn't too bad. It's before the heat really settles in. Austin is notoriously hot. We'll have a few months there of over 100-degree temperatures every day. It can be pretty brutal. So we didn't really. I was expecting weather to get in the way of principal photography because most of that film was shot outside in the woods.
Yeah.
But we got really lucky, and we didn't have one rain out, and for the most part the weather was very mild. It wasn't too hot. Toward the end of photography, on the outdoor shots, it did start to heat up a little bit. So we were definitely under umbrellas, and Scarah was taking care of everyone with protect sun
Sunscreen.
block. Yeah.
The first day it was blazing. I remember approaching people with sunscreen, and some people were like, "Yeah, okay, give them the sunscreen, or I'd help put it on." And there's a few people that were holding on, like, "No, I'm fine, I'm fine." All it took was one really bad sunburn that day, because you have to reapply every 20, 30 minutes. You have to reapply, and so I was on it. No skin cancer on my watch, boy. Let me tell you.
That's awesome.
Hardest part about that shoot was we had wide shots, and when you're doing wide shots out and it's noon, you have a lot of exposure, and it's hard exposure, and we didn't have a giant scrim or something that could block the sun, and so we were able to subdue that on sort of close-ups and stuff. But whenever we were trying to get wide shots of the band, they just are what they are. So we tried to put those off to the evenings or the mornings, but sometimes your shoot just demands you shoot the way you have to. And so, it was a struggle. It was a struggle against the direct sun, a lot. So
Okay. uh, so you say that it was supposed to be an anthology. Can you go a little bit more into Damsel of the Doom? Just kind of like give a brief synopsis what it is going to be about.
So Damsel, I won't say how Damsel's connected to the movie because it's kind of a surprise. But Damsel is about my character, Scarah, Damsel of the Doomed, and it opens on a shot of something that happens to her mother. And then it goes through Scarah's life kind of as a horror host. She hosts horror movies at a drive-in, and things go awry, and she meets someone that helps her with her career. And then, of course, there's nefarious people involved. And she acts to manifest, the things that she wants in her life. And that may or may not actually draw some negative things towards her as well.
Okay,
And then
okay.
there's murder, of course.
You guys actually won some awards for this film, right?
For Damsel or for Black? For both we have.
For both, yeah.
mm.
Uh, did you want to go a little bit into that and kind of like just uh let people know what awards you've won?
Yeah, let's see. We for the Black Quarry has definitely won quite a few makeup effects because we love practical effects. That's sort of our bread and butter, I guess. And so I think, people enjoy that, especially in this demographic in horror and in horror comedy. But we were award winners at the Thing in the Basement Horror Fest for this film, Los Angeles Motion Picture Festival, one of our favorite local festivals, Ethereal Horror Fest. We've won Houston Horror Film Festival, which was a big film festival in Houston, and then also Hollywood Blood Horror Festival and some of the other ones. So that film did good in film festivals. I was really happy with it, and it's pretty much finished up its run in film festivals. And so we're ready to release it on Blu-ray. You can go, you can pre-order it now on Blu-ray, and then it'll be streaming probably, I guess, a few weeks. It'll be streaming now. And so Damsel of the Doomed, which is a more traditional feature in the sense of it's an hour and 20 minutes or so, just now entered film festivals, and it is doing really well. And so we've already won it, like for example, we have, I think it was Best Texas Feature in Ethereal Horror Fest. We have a Rising Star Award at Hot Springs and a bunch of other ones. And we're also officially selected for Texas Revolutions Film Festival, which is a really nice film festival here in Austin. So
And I think we're up for 12 awards for that one.
yeah, we're
Dang.
nominated for 12 awards for that, including uh, what are they? Some of them, your actress, right?
Yeah. I'm up for Best Actress. So is Julia, who plays my mother. We have like most of our main cast is up for acting awards. Corey's up for a director's award. We're also up for um the Toby Hooper Award, and I think Texas Film, Best Texas Film, maybe. I can't remember all of them, but definitely we're just super thrilled. It's a good festival, and we're happy to be.
Yeah, just to be nominated for those awards, like I know for me personally, the filmmaker of the year, just to be nominated with the other, however many nominations is a super special thing, honestly. So
Oh, yeah. With the Black Quarry, so I rate my movies 1 to 10. 10 being best, one being worst. The original rating was a 7, which is good, but I actually pushed it up to an 8 because I rewatched it by myself again, and I was like, the first time was pure entertainment. Second time was to see which character I can identify with the most or see what I missed. And I'm going to leave that one a little bit kind of vague because it's just weird, but whatever. But it was an excellent movie. I do want to say that it's a little thing I do at the end of the year. And right now, there's only 2 movies I've seen this year, but I do my own award show too. But there's actually a group of us that get together and we all do our awards,
Cool.
and we talk about it all. And but the thing is out of the 2 movies I've seen, I'm obviously going to see like hundreds more movies. But this year so far, definitely this is up for. I can tell you, it's going to be up for at least 3 awards right now. I can tell you that.
Well,
You know,
thank
Great. Yeah.
But
Where do you live, Josh?
uh, I'm in Michigan.
Michigan. You have a
Yeah,
different accent.
I have a what?
You have a different accent.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry.
no, it's fine. I just couldn't place it.
Oh,
Are you born and
yeah.
raised in Michigan?
Yep.
Ah.
But I got a lot of some short story. My family's from down south, but we all moved up here. So
Mm.
we're all from Tennessee. Well, my mom and all of them are from Tennessee. So
Oh, I can hear the Michigan accent in mom, though. You say mom.
yeah, yeah. So there's a third movie like on your website. I seen The Witch's Bargain.
Mm.
Uh, can you go a little bit into that and like how that came about? Because that
Yeah.
looks really good.
Yeah, it's the so that film was how it all kind of started for us. And I was building my theme park in Austin, Texas, and we have a castle that we were building. And we kind of looked around and we were like, this would be really fun to shoot some stuff in. And so Scarah dressed up, she got out and we just shot her walking through with a candle and stuff. And then we were like, wow, that's beautiful. I mean, the shots are great, the production is fantastic, she looked great in it. And so I'm like, damn, let's let's go ahead and let's make a story. Let's tell a short. And so I went back and wrote a short film. It was 30 minutes, and we shot it. And it's also about Scarah and her character, the character of Scarah, I guess. And that film went on to win like that short film went on to win like over 50 international awards.
Dang.
And it just killed it. Yeah. And so what it was for us is it was really a proof of concept, and honestly just it gave us the confidence to say that we can be filmmakers and that we can do this, and so that it was just a real it was a moment for us and sort of a cathartic or a realization of what we could do with this.
All right. Uh, Going into the Black Quarry a little bit more. I don't want to give away nothing, but what happens with the characters? Was that like precisely how you wanted everything to come off? I mean, because the effects were awesome. I do love practical effects, so and I do have a favorite scene. Uh, I'll just say the guitarist. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, did that all come like go off like a hit, without no mess ups or anything?
Sarah has a better memory than I do, but I will say that not, it's always practical effects are always a challenge. Especially at our level, but honestly, at any level. I was listening to Eli Roth talk about Thanksgiving, and he was talking about some horrors that they had with their practical effects, and so that was sort of relieving to me because it was like at all levels, practical effects is difficult, and things happen. So of course we had that. I actually feel like we did a fairly good job at getting the shots we needed without too many obstacles or issues. I don't remember anything in particular that presented major issues. Do you, Sarah?
No, the only thing you guys we all planned with the our makeup effects girls um for a while on these effects, and they all, I think, went off pretty well without a hitch. The only thing I think we didn't take account for was the time on set it would take for the prep work. And it was funny because our head makeup, the key makeup artist, special effects artist, we would go ask her, "Hey, how long is this going to take until it's ready for camera?" And she would always say like 20 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes. And it was like an hour and 30 minutes, we'd be waiting. So we always knew to whatever she said to double it. But she did a great job. The whole makeup effects team did a good job. The only thing was it just took a little longer than what we thought, but that's really not a terrible problem. We were able to manage it for sure. Corey did a good job with keeping the crew going and filming other things that he could film while makeup effects was getting ready. So not a lot of time was wasted on set.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about the music. So the music for this film, like specific songs had to be played at specific moments. I would imagine. So the beginning when when the band was playing, I you went to like straight into my inner child. I was like, okay, I'm gonna love this movie. But like those songs when you were choosing them for the scenes, like how much detail went into that?
That to me was one of the funnest parts about producing this film, honestly. I got to, as a musician, going into the film, I was looking forward to that. Before I even got to the post-production phase of it, it was like, I'm gonna get to put some dope music to this. This is gonna be cool, and I'll be able to really just throw music in there that I would like, and have my friends produce music with me for the film, and really just sort of and really just have a heavy hitting track that would really work with people who like that kind of music. And I mean, it's a black metal band. The film's about a black metal band, and while it's not all black metal music, it's definitely all hard hitting heavy rock. Some of it is black metal, and it's aggressive. And that's the kind of stuff I like to listen to. And so it was a lot of fun.
Uh, uh, let's get into the character of Scourge for just a small moment. How much like how much detail went into his character of how he looked and stuff like that, or is that just how he looks in real life?
Scourge is one of the ones that we picked. He was an actor at Bat City Scare Grounds, one of Corey's haunted attractions, and he's also a musician. And so at the time, that's how he pretty much looked. He had the really long hair, and he's a bigger guy, and that's part of why he was cast. Now he looks nothing like that. He's cut his hair. Uh, does he have a mustache? I can't remember. Or no, he's shaved everything. He's clean shaven, short hair because he's now a paramedic, I think, or a firefighter or something. I don't know. But and has lost weight, and so I don't think you would even recognize him now from the movie. But we thought his hair was pretty epic. So
Oh yeah.
that definitely helped.
Oh yeah.
And he actually is the singer on that song. There's a song, a Drown the Priest song on there that I mixed and mastered and I produced with my drummer Joshua Fontenot and Ethan, the actor Scourge. He came in and he's not a traditional singer, but he does play in hard rock bands and heavy music as a bass player. And he sings backup. He does a little screaming. And so he came in and he was like, I don't know if I could do this guy. And I'm like, we can do it, man. We're gonna work through it. And I think I was really happy with the way it turned out. But I kind of coached him through being black metal vocals, and they just turned out dope, dude. I love the song is great, you know.
Oh
Josh,
yeah.
I'll tell you, Corey is the producer also for The Immortals, and he's where he's I gotta express that how multi-talented Corey is. And so having worked with him myself as a singer and a producer, he can get out of you what he needs to get out of you most of the time. And so what he did with Ethan, who played Scourge, like I am not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Oh yeah. So we got about 7 minutes left. I want to touch on it again. I don't want to spoil nothing, but that final sequence, I'll just say it like that. That was epic. Like that whole last 10, 15 minutes, I was like, all right, now this is balls to the wall, like going off the rails of, like I said, epic. It's epic. Uh Doing that with those characters and then the creature, I mean, had to have been a lot of fun, you know. And so in saying it had to be fun, like how many takes did you have to take to actually do certain things?
Are you talking
But
about the end fight scene?
yes, the end fight scene.
Yeah, so the choreography was we actually had two dance choreographers help choreograph the battle scene. And so Lynn Forney and Kinsey Fontenot were they they sort of got with Charles, I guess, and Ethan, and they sort of worked out the battle, and we worked it out, and then Charles, the actor that plays the creature, the quarry creature, and Ethan, who is Scourge, they would just meet out at the park and practice it, and they just had a great time doing it, and we got so by the time we were on set and we started shooting, they had the battle already down, and they jumped right onto it. And we shot high frame rate so that because I really wanted to slow mo a couple of those things, and you know, and in post we did a lot of things like to increase the dynamics of the fight. You know, whether it's speed ramping or slow mos or shakes or whatever. The whole thing from the actual principal photography of the combat to the post production of the combat to putting the music behind the combat to the ending of the combat to the tragic, you know, death of Scourge. I guess that's a spoiler, but um, was all just a ton of fun. We had a great time doing it, and it was really inspirational and fun, and the actors were just brilliant to work with. So.
All right. All right. So with our last 5 minutes, I always give time for you guys to be able to plug where people can reach out to you and stuff like that. So you guys feel free.
Oh, Sarah, do you want to talk about Damsel a little bit?
Uh, well, he can find us on horrorweb.com. Anyone could go to the website to see the trailers for The Black Quarry and Damsel of the Doomed. The Black Quarry, like Corey was saying, will be available on Blu-ray right now. He You can purchase an advanced copy of it, but we will be at conventions promoting Damsel of the Doomed and also probably selling the Black Quarry DVDs. We'll be at Texas Frightmare Weekend in May. We'll be at Houston Horror Film Festival in August, and hopefully some others in between. I think Cult Classic Convention we'll be tabling there too. That's in Bastrop in March. Um, my personal Scarah Damsel of the Doomed accounts on Instagram, it's Scarah_Damsel of the Doomed. And on Facebook, it's something similar. I think it's Scarah Damsel of the Doomed. Our band, The Immortals, also has social media. It's The Immortals with a Z band on Instagram. And Corey, I think, has a private Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah, I do. But so moving forward for us, we're definitely, we're going to be releasing Damsel by next October. So that film will be released then. So I would say go follow Horrorweb, HORROR web.com on Instagram or Facebook. And you'll get, we'll be posting updates on when that film is available. Um, when the Black Quarry, you can pre-order the Black Quarry from there. You can also follow up on a new film project that I am working on called Demon Code, which is a little bit different of a film. And I would right now I'm in the stage where we're looking for investors. And so if you're interested in investing and being a part of a film, Demon Code is a higher budget, a little bit higher budget. So we're sort of moving on up, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So you can reach out to horrorweb.com if you're interested in knowing more about Demon Code or essentially anything, Damsel of the Doomed or the Black Quarry. So,
All right. Uh, I would like to take this time to say thank you to both Corey and Sarah or Scarah. Is it okay if I call you Scarah?
Yeah,
I
it's
just
either way. It's fine with me. Thank you.
I love that name.
Okay.
I want to thank you guys for coming on, taking time out, and I just want to say, from my own personal opinion, you guys are going to be a force to be reckoned with going into the future, and I can't wait to see what else you guys do.
Thanks, Josh. That's so sweet.
thank you for having us, man. You're so supportive. We really appreciate it, and we hope to come back when Damsel is closer to release to be able to come talk about that. And so you guys be sure to go pre-order the Black Quarry on horrorweb.com. So,
Uh, well, like I always tell everybody, once you've been on this show, you always got a home at NC-17. So when Damsel comes out, you are more than welcome to come back on.
all right.
We'll be here.
All right. All right. So until next time, everybody, stay NC-17.